Interview tips. What to do if they don't call you back for a second or third round. If a recruiting manager is interested in your application, he or she will call you for a second, third, or fourth round. What if he or she does not? Well, that does not necessarily mean the company thinks your candidacy is subpar. Things could be more complex than you think. Either way, there are things you can do while waiting for them to call you back. Find out how to play it smart if you think you had a successful first round, but have yet to hear from the recruiting managers. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. How you doing today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as splendid as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka. Let's roll. Today, I want to talk to you about what to do if you haven't heard back from the recruiting manager. You've gone to an interview for the first round or second round, and they haven't called you for the third or fourth or fifth round. What do you have to do? First thing first, be patient. Please be patient. The last thing you want is to start harassing the HR manager, calling them plenty of times. You don't want that. You want to keep the same level of professionalism, courtesy, and etiquette you displayed during the first or second round of interviewing. This is very important. You want to project that image of a responsible professional person. You want to wait for 2 weeks before reaching out. 2 weeks. And if you have, and 2 weeks can be even like kind of short if you have a large company. Because of bureaucracy, the red tape, and all the internal processes, things are a little slower at larger companies. But if you have a small company, 2 weeks is reasonable. And after 2 weeks, you want to start thinking about your next move. Now, before you even think about doing anything else, remember, what did they tell you exactly while you were interviewing? Did they tell you anything about the next steps? Usually, if you have a normal company, quote unquote normal company, they will let you know the next steps. So are they telling you that they are interviewing other people? Because yeah, they might be interviewing other candidates while you're waiting. If they haven't called you back, it's because they're still going through the list of candidates that they believe are interesting for them. Maybe they have budget problems. Maybe that department, that specific department where you're supposed to work, where you applied to, maybe they have budgetary problems. Maybe the recruitment process is on hold. A lot of stuff happens. What I'm trying to tell you here is that the array of scenarios that could dictate what's going on here could be pretty expensive, could be pretty broad. Maybe they made a hiring decision already. They've hired someone. They found somebody better than you. So there are many options you have to think about, which is why you want to be patient. You just want to be patient. And again, the key word here is 14 days, 2 weeks. Be patient. Hold your ground for 2 weeks. And after 2 weeks, if they don't get back to you, that's when you move on to the next step. The next step here is you need to determine if you really like the company. I know at first when you read the job posting, you found that the company was pretty great. That's fantastic. First impression always works. That's great. Now you've got a chance to go to the company. You've got a chance to meet with people. You've got a chance to speak to them. What do you think? Do you really like the company? Be honest with yourself. You gotta be honest with yourself. I'm not talking about bowing to pressure from colleagues or family members, or maybe your own situation. Maybe you're going through some financial straits right now, and you're having some financial problems, and so you need a job because you need to make ends meet. But the problem is, do you really like the company? By the company here, the word company here encompasses a lot of things. First, I'm talking about the company itself. So company XYZ. Do you like the company itself? Do you like the team you met, or the team you are supposed to work with? Because they have told you a lot about the team during the interview. So the question here is that based on what you heard, would you like working in that team? What about the culture? What about the company's culture? What about the team's culture? What about were you comfortable when you went to the interview? Did they seem friendly to you? Did they seem respectful to you? What about the industry? Is this an industry you see yourself being in the next 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, 5 years, 10 years? Because again, there are two levels when making a decision about working at a company. You have the emotional level and you have the rational level. Rational level means you need a job. You need to put food on the table for yourself and your family. You need to be an active member of society. You want to buy stuff. You want to feel comfortable. You want to socialize. You want to travel. You want to enjoy yourself. La vida loca, right? You want to enjoy things, really, and having fun. That's the rational part. And then you have the emotional part. Emotional part is, do you feel the company, quote unquote, feel? Do you have a feeling? What is your gut telling you about the company? So those are things you have to think about. Another thing you have to think about when analyzing the company is the area. When you are going to the interview, how was the commute? How do you feel about the location where the company is located? About where the company is situated? What is it? Can you imagine yourself doing this every day, having a 9 to 5 in these conditions? So those are things you have to ask yourself to determine whether or not you are really interested in working at the company. Next thing you need to do is to do your self-assessment. If they haven't called you back for a second or third round, you want to take the time, those 2 weeks I was telling you about, the 14 days, you want to do your self-assessment. What went wrong? Did anything go wrong during the interview, before the interview, after the interview? Go back down memory lane and start looking at the interview or interviews and see what really happened. What could you have improved during the interview process? Could you have spoken better? Could you have explained a particular element on your resume better? Could you have been better prepared? Could you have been there earlier? Did you arrive late? Do your self-assessment. Here you can afford to criticize yourself. You can afford to be harsh on yourself. It's not about being negatively inclined here. It's about looking at things objectively and seeing how you can improve things next time. Try to do a skill check. Technical skills and emotional skills. Are your technical skills and emotional skills aligned with the skills sought in that particular job you applied for? By technical skills are the skills needed to do the job. Emotional skills are what I call portable skills, or skills that you can transfer from department to department, from company to company. For example, interpersonal skills, teamwork, communication, leadership, time management. Those skills are applicable everywhere. In any company, in any organization that you go to, you will need to have communication skills. You will need to have verbal and written skills. You need to have interpersonal skills. You need to have emotional intelligence. You need to be able to work with people. So while doing your self-assessment, you got to really ask yourself, was I good? What could I have improved? What are the areas where I'm strong at? What are the areas where I need to improve in the next few days, weeks, months, years? Maybe they might call you back and give you a chance to for a second performance, a better performance, or a third performance. See, I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We're also having a conversation today around what to do if they don't call you back for a second or third round. You've gone to the first round of interviews, everything went fine, you felt comfortable, and then, silence, radio silence. Nobody has contacted you. You're just kind of like, what should I do? Maybe you have another interview with another company, and you're just sort of thinking about what to do. Now, if you love the content and clarity of today's show, by the way, please subscribe right now, because this kind of shows, this kind of topics about employment, looking for a job, interview skills. We produce this kind of shows or similar shows every single day, rain or shine. So you will love our shows. Like this content, comment below, share, and we'll be very helpful. We'll be very, very grateful for that. So you want to gather intel. You need to gather intel about the company and the job while you're waiting. If they don't call you back for a next round, and you have 2 weeks, You want to gather intel. You want to find out if the role is already filled. And there are several ways to find out. You can contact the company directly. You can call them up. You can actually ask around. You can actually see on the internet if the job was posted, say on LinkedIn, and you see that they have removed the job posting. That could tell you, oh, the role is already filled or the role is still open. You can reach out to the recruiter who has to the staffing agency that has called you in the first place. If you had gotten word of the job through them. You can also get some info on social media. And this is a lot easier if the company is a prominent one. If this is a large company, then you have several outlets where you can get info. If this is a small local company, things are a little complicated because of the nature of the business. So there are not a lot of outlets out there where you can get info about the job, whether it is still available. You can even tap into your own personal network to find out more about the position, if the position is still open. The reason why you want to gather intel is that you want to do one of three things. You don't want to waste time. In other words, you want to move on. You want to realize whether there are other jobs available at the company. You want to find out if the real reason why they're not calling you. Again, as I said earlier, it could be that the recruitment process is on hold. The company is going through through a rough patch. They don't have money, or they have to cut budgets, and because of that, the job is no longer available. So you want to gather intel to know more about what's really going on. So once you have been patient, you have determined that you really like the company. You have done your self-assessment. You have gathered intel. Now it's time to thank the interviewers. This is really important, and this is part of the traditional, proper, I would say, interview etiquette. You want to thank the interviewers, and please thank each of them. If you've been interviewed by 10 people, thank each interviewer personally, individually. Don't send a mass email where you think, oh, thank you guys for your time. No. You want to take the time and draft a separate. Please don't do copy and paste. No copy and paste. You want to draft a 1 paragraph or 2 paragraphs email for each interviewer. You never know. You want to take this seriously, folks, because this step will bridge the gap, will cement your success, your future success, if they were to call you back. Don't burn your bridges. So you want to thank them for their time. You can take the opportunity to ask about the role. Ask if the role is still available. You can ask about whether there are other opportunities within the company that they believe might suit you. You can say that and please don't be afraid. Don't hesitate to say, listen, I am available for similar roles. The tone of this email should be extraordinarily positive. I don't care if you doubt yourself or you believe you don't have the skill set. That's okay. You missed this boat. You missed being hired for this job. And so what? There are gazillion jobs available out there on the market. And if you have a large company, if you have a multinational, chances are they might hire you in another department. So be positive. So one thing you were trying to do here is that you want to keep in contact. You want to have an email. You want to have some traces of a relationship or interactions, if you will, with employees at that company. You never know. What you're doing here is that you're preparing the future. You're preparing your next move. You didn't get the job this time? Perfect. Thank them. And copy yourself. When you send the email, copy yourself. The sixth and last move here is you want to apply for other jobs. You can apply for other jobs within the company. So if this is a large company, you can actually go on the internet or go on their website and find a list of available open positions. So you want to apply for the jobs. You can also apply at other companies. What I'm trying to say here is that don't shut down your job hunt simply because you had one failure. It's okay. Things happen. You don't expect to be hired by all the companies you apply to, right? You only need one. So, and you gotta keep networking. Keep networking. And I'm gonna give you a very important secret here. You want to send LinkedIn invites to those recruiters and staff members you spoke to during the first and or second rounds of interview. Let me repeat that. This is so important. You want to send LinkedIn invites to those people you spoke to during the first and or second rounds. What you're trying to do here is that you're trying to take the relationship further. You want to bring those people, those recruiting managers within your network. And that's important because, again, you are cementing, you are building the foundation of your next move, of your future professional success. Don't burn bridges. You also want to send an invite to employees at the company, other employees at the company, preferably senior employees. If you want to get a job at a company, it's better to connect, it's better to hook up with senior leaders as opposed to entry-level professionals or the rank and file. So you want to send an invite, and in that invite, you're just trying to say, listen, you can say something like, I just had an interview. I had a round of interviews with so-and-so in the marketing department. I've been impressed by the caliber of talent and the caliber of capabilities within the company. I would love to expand my network, and would you please be part of my network? Something like that. Something along those lines, right? The idea here is not to kiss butt. No, you're trying to genuinely expand your network because you have interviewed and you love the company, and maybe now is not the time to get the job, but you'll get it next time. All right, folks. So this is it. I gave you 6 interview tips, what to do if they don't call you back for a second or third round. Let's quickly recap here. So I told you to be patient, to determine if you really like the company, to do your self-assessment, to gather intel, to thank the interviewers, and to apply for other jobs. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay splendid.